Hello and welcome. Today is day 7 of your 7-day yoga challenge, which means it is the final flow, the final practice that we have together in this challenge. I'm so happy that you have joined me for this challenge. And this class will be a more mellow, gentler practice. We will still keep it moving on our mat, building just a little bit of heat in the body, settling in with our breath, and calming the mind. This would be a great practice to do in the evening before bed, but it's great for any time of the day. Let's begin in a seated position. If you would like to, you can sit on a cushion, a pillow, or folded blanket, anything like that to elevate the hips. So the hips are higher than the knees, allowing this seat and this position to be a little bit more comfortable for you. Make any adjustments, make any movements that you need to make in order to allow your mind and your body to arrive right here, right now. Allow your hips and your lower body to ground down towards the earth. Find more space through your torso and the spine as you reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Let your shoulders draw down away from your ears. And if it's comfortable for you, you can allow your eyes to close. Otherwise, keep them open. Bring your attention now to your breath. Notice each breath flowing in, and notice each breath flowing out. When you find that your mind wanders off to other things, can you use your breath to bring yourself back to this moment? Come back to each inhale, come back to each exhale. Notice which part of your breath is the easiest for you to connect with and feel. And can you focus specifically on this part of the breath? Know that it is normal for the mind to wander off. It is normal for thoughts to come and for thoughts to go. It is okay if your mind is busy. But can you work towards bringing your focus and your awareness back to your breath? We'll be here for just a little bit longer. Take one final breath right here before we begin to move. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, bring your shoulders up towards your ears, and then allow them to drop back down. Once again, bring your shoulders up towards your ears, allow them to fall back down. Reach your arms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Come into a tabletop position on hands and knees, all fours. From tabletop, let's take it through a couple of cats and cows. Fingers are spread nice and far apart. Press down into the hands and knees. Arch your spine, coming into cow pose, looking up, lifting the tailbone up. Exhale to round it into cat pose, bringing the upper back up towards the ceiling. Inhale to cow, looking up, lifting the tailbone up, arching the spine. Exhale to cat, looking down towards the mat, and inhale to cow, looking up towards the ceiling, lifting the chin up, lifting the tailbone up, arching the spine. Exhale into cat, looking down towards the mat, lifting the upper back up towards the ceiling. Come back to center with a nice neutral spine. From here, make your way towards the back of your mat. Walk your hands out towards the top two corners of your mat. Melt your heart down, melt your chest down. Keep the hips lifted up. Maybe the forehead can reach the mat and you can rest it on the mat. If it doesn't quite reach, you can keep it lifted. The arms are straight and the chest continues to melt down towards the ground. One more breath. Walk your hands back in. Come back to center, tabletop. From here, bring your hands a little bit farther forward from your tabletop. Fingers spread nice and far apart. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Pedal it out, find any movement that feels good for your body at this time. Inhale to look forward to your hands. Exhale, make your way to the top of your mat however you would like. Bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. Allow the upper body to drape down over the lower body. The head will drop down towards the ground. Rock from side to side. Allow your belly and your chest to rest down over your thighs. The upper body, the head, shoulders, neck are all very heavy here. Take a couple more breaths. Bring your hands up onto your shins, the fronts of your lower legs. Gaze forward, reach your heart forward. Find a nice long spine, halfway lift. We'll hold here for 3 breaths. The knees can be as bent as they need to be. Allow each breath to be nice and deep. Fold back down over your legs. From here, come all the way up to stand with a nice tall spine. Reach your arms up. Look up towards the hands. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Take a full breath here, in and out. Reach your arms up. Inhale. Exhale to fold down over your legs. Bring your feet out to the edges of your mat. Bring opposite hand to opposite elbow and sway from right to left. Once again, allow the upper body to be very heavy here. Let the head drape down towards the ground. Bring your hands down to the mat. Bring your feet back towards one another. Fingers are spread nice and far apart. Step back to plank pose. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths in your downward facing dog. The knees can be as bent as they need to be here, and the heels can be lifted up high away from the ground. Inhale to look forward. Shift it forward to plank pose. Find a nice long line through the entire body. Gaze forward. Shoulders are stacked over top of your wrists. Can you reach the heels farther back behind you? Take it back to downward facing dog. Move with your breath. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. Feel free to go at your own pace. Work with your own breath. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And that might be different for you if you're moving faster or if you're moving slower. Meet in downward facing dog when you're done. Look forward, inhale. Exhale and make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come onto the shins, reach the heart forward, find a nice long spine. Exhale to fold down over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold down over the legs. Once again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees generously here. So bend your knees as much as you need to in order to place the hands underneath your feet. So your toes will be going to the creases of your wrists, finding a nice stretch for your wrists. So you can rock the weight forward a little bit, bringing more weight onto the wrists, and then maybe rock the weight back. Bending the knees here as much as you need to so the legs do not have to be straight.
And then if you're comfortable and as you start to settle in this pose, if you would like to, you can start to straighten out the legs a little bit, maybe also dropping the head more towards the ground. One more breath here. Release the hands out from the feet. Bring the hands up to the shins. Halfway lift. Extend the arms out to either side. Bend your knees as much as you need to here. Building some strength, building some heat in the back body. One more big breath. Come all the way up to stand with a nice, long, strong back. Arms up overhead. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to fold down over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come onto the shins, reach the heart forward. Plant the hands down, fingers spread nice and far apart. Step it back to plank. Downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back. From here, lower down onto your knees, tabletop position. I'm just going to turn so that you can see this next pose a little bit better. So hands and knees, lift the right arm up, inhale, looking towards the right hand. Exhale, the right shoulder will come to rest down onto the mat, resting on the right ear and right arm. Come back up, right arm will reach up, inhale. Exhale to bring it down, resting on the right ear, right shoulder. Inhale to lift back up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. This time we'll hold here for about 3 breaths. Take one more breath. Press into your left hand to rise back up. Right arm reaches all the way up. Inhale. Exhale to set it down. From here, the left arm will reach up. Inhale. Exhale to bring it through underneath your body. Rest down on the left shoulder, left ear. Inhale to reach back up. Exhale to bring it through and rest down on the left shoulder, left ear. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to bring it through, resting down on the left shoulder, left ear. Inhale one more time, lift up. Exhale to bring it through, and we hold here, resting on the left shoulder and left ear for about 5 breaths. Take one more big breath. Ground the right hand into the mat and reach the left arm all the way back up to the ceiling. Look up towards the hand and then place it down to the ground once again. From here, in your tabletop position, lower down to your forearms, elbows are underneath the shoulders. Tuck all 10 toes under. Lift your knees up just to a hover above the ground. So the knees are very close to the ground here. Look just on the mat in the space between your arms, keeping the neck nice and long. One more big breath right here. Take the knees down, come back up onto the hands. Make your way back to your downward facing dog. Toes tuck under, lift the hips up and back. Your fingers are spread nice and far apart. Pedal it out through the legs. Find any movement that feels good for your body right now. From here, shift forward to plank. Lower the knees down if you would like to, otherwise you can keep them lifted. Lower all the way down to the belly. Bring your hands off to the side of your mat, tenting up onto the fingertips. So the palms are lifted here. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to lower. So you can stay closer towards the ground as you lift up, or you can lift up high. It's completely up to you and how your body is feeling. Exhale to lower. We'll do a few more. Inhale to lift on up. And exhale to lower. 2 more times, just like that. One more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to lower. Adding on from here, inhale, lift up. Dip your right shoulder down towards the ground. Look over your left shoulder. Come back through center, lower down. Lift up. Dip your left shoulder down. Look over the right shoulder towards the back of your mat. Back through center, lower down. We'll do a few more of these. Lift up. Dip your right shoulder down, look towards the feet, back of the mat, back through center, lower down. Lift up, dip the left shoulder down, look over the right shoulder towards your feet. Come back through center, lower down. One more on each side, lift up, dip the right shoulder down, look over the left shoulder. Come back through center, lower down. Lift up. Dip the left shoulder down, look over the right shoulder towards the feet. Come back through center and lower down. Bring one hand over top of the other and rest your forehead onto your hands. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. If you would like to, you can bend the knees and take the legs from side to side. Bring the legs back down to the mat if they were lifted up. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, fingers spread nice and far apart. Come to tabletop. And then tuck the toes under, bring the hands a little bit farther out in front of you. Take it back to downward facing dog. Inhale to look forward. Exhale and make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold down over the legs. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach the arms up. Exhale, left hand comes down the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over towards the left. Come back through center. Right arm will come down the right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over towards the right. Come back through center. Reach the arms up, gaze up. And exhale to fold right back down over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands down, step back to plank. From plank, drop your right knee down. Bring the right shin off to the right. Right hand will plant down. Left foot will plant down. Left arm reaches up, modified side plank. If you would like to, you can look up towards the left hand. Otherwise, look wherever you like. From here, come all the way up. Left hand goes down the left leg. Right arm will reach up and over. Keep reaching the right fingers towards the left foot, back of the mat. Come to center, hands together at heart center. Find length through your spine. And then bring the hands down to the ground in front of you. Lower down onto your forearms if you like. Find a bit of a fold. Maybe dropping the chest down towards the ground. Maybe you're able to rest the forehead down. Come back up onto your hands. Bring your hands to the top of your mat. Planting the left foot down, step the right foot back. Plank pose. Downward facing dog, pedal it out, find some movement here. I'm just going to turn on my mat so that you can continue to see me, but you can stay just as you are. From downward facing dog, shift forward to plank. Drop the left knee down. Bring the left shin to the left. Right foot plants down. Left hand plants down. And the right arm will extend up towards the ceiling. If you would like to, you can turn to look towards the right hand. Otherwise, look wherever you like. Can you find a little bit more length from the right fingers all the way down to the left fingers? And then from the crown of the head all the way back to the right foot. Start to ground down into the right foot and the left knee as you come up to stand in this kneeling position. Right hand will go down the right leg, left arm reaches up and over towards the right side. As we hold this side bend for a little bit longer, can you keep reaching the left fingers towards the right foot? From here, hands together at heart center, spine comes back to neutral. Bring your hands down to the ground. You can stay up on your hands. You can drop down onto your forearms. Maybe you walk yourself out a little bit. Maybe the forehead comes closer towards the ground. Get settled into this forward fold, and we'll be here for just a little bit longer. Come back up onto your hands. Bring your hands over to the top of your mat. Step back to plank and take the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Find any movement that feels good for your body. Take one more breath in your downward facing dog. The right foot will now step through in between the hands, top of the mat. Lower the left knee down and bring the hands up onto the right thigh. Ground down through the entire right foot, as well as the left knee and the top of the left foot. So the left toes are untucked. The shoulders stack over top of the hips. And the head is reaching gently up towards the ceiling. Take a couple more breaths here in your low lunge. Bring your hands down to the mat to frame your right foot. Tuck your left toes under, lift up the left knee, and straighten out the right leg. Walk your hands back alongside the right leg. The right knee doesn't have to be completely straight. Find length through your spine and then maybe start to fold over the right leg. We'll just be here for 1 or 2 more breaths. Plant your hands down, top of the mat, framing the right foot. Step the right foot back, downward facing dog as you lift the hips up and back. Let's try that on the other side. Left foot will step up, top of the mat. Lower the right knee down, untuck the right toes. Bring the hands up onto the left thigh. Ground down into the left foot, the right knee, and the top of the right foot. Feel very steady and grounded and centered in your low lunge. Continue to stay with your breath and use your breath to help you maintain this posture. Good. Bring your hands down to the mat to frame your left foot. Tuck your right toes under, lift up the right knee, and then start to straighten the left leg. The left leg doesn't have to be completely straight. Just go to your range of motion. Find length through the spine, and then start to fold over the left leg. Send the left hip back a little bit and the right hip forward. Take 1 more breath here. Plant the hands down, top of the mat, framing the left foot. Step left foot back, downward facing dog as you lift the hips up and back. Find any movement that feels good for you here. Lower the knees down to the mat. Come towards the back of your mat and let's take that puppy pose we took at the beginning of class once again. Noticing any changes that we feel now compared to the first time that we took it. Walk your hands out towards the top two corners of your mat. Keep the hips lifted up over top of the knees. Melt your heart, your chest, your forehead down towards the ground. Maybe you're able to rest the forehead down. And if you're not, that's okay. You can keep it lifted. And if you have the forehead down and you would like a little bit more of a challenge, you can also work on bringing the chin down to the mat instead of the forehead. Make sure your fingers are spread nice and far apart. Your arms are extended out straight. Your hips are lifted up as the heart melts down. Take one more breath. Walk your hands back up, coming to tabletop. Come to a seat with your legs out in front of you. And make your way all the way down onto your back, taking as much time as you would like to get there. Hug your knees into your chest. Arms will wrap around your legs. You can rock from side to side. Extend your left leg long. Keep the right knee hugging in towards your chest. Fingers can interlace around the right shin. 5 breaths here. One more breath. Bring the left knee back in towards your chest. Extend your right leg long. Interlace your fingers around the left shin. And can you keep reaching the left heel further away from you, closer towards the top of your mat? Can you also allow the shoulders to come down away from the ears as you let the head, the shoulders, the upper back to rest all the way down onto the mat? Take a few more breaths here. One more breath. Release the left leg long. Release your entire body down onto your mat. Take up lots of space. If it feels better for you, you can bend the knees. That can feel good for the low back, so you can try that out. Take your time to get comfortable, make any adjustments or movements or changes to your position that you need to make so that your mind and your body can start to settle into this space that you have created.
please stay in your Shavasana for as long as you would like. Thank you so very much for joining me for this challenge. I would love to hear how it went for you. You can leave me a comment in the comment section of this video. You can also let me know if you would like me to do another challenge like this in the future, maybe later on this year. If there is someone that you know that you think would enjoy this challenge or my yoga classes, then you can definitely share my channel with them. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.